All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. Today, we need to talk about the great expat delusion. It's the idea that packing your bags, flying across the world, and planting yourself in paradise will magically fix everything that's broken in your life. Spoiler alert, it won't. Too many expats pack their bags but forget that their baggage is coming with them, and it completely derails their experience. If you're lonely, unmotivated, or running on empty back home, a palm tree isn't going to change that. But if you shift your perspective and face reality head on, you can stop the washout before it starts. Today, I'm breaking down the raw reality of living overseas so you can build a life that actually works, not just a Facebook post or a YouTube channel. If you're new here, I'm Island Punk, and this is GenX-Xpat. I retired at 58 after the political circus of the 2024 election back in the States. I packed a bag and moved from Alaska to a tiny island in the Indian Ocean. Recently, I was watching a video by a creator named Evan A. I encourage you to check out his channel. He has a wealth of practical experience. He was breaking down his years of expat experience, specifically why so many people pack up, move abroad, and then completely lose it and end up going back defeated. And it really sparked something in me because, let's be honest, I moved to paradise and it did not fix my life. Now, don't get me wrong, my life back home was on life support. I desperately needed a dramatic, radical change. But there's a massive difference between a fresh start and a magical cure. Let's look at the real traps waiting for you at the airport. First major trap is thinking that you're on an extended vacation. When you first land, the novelty completely captivates you. Everything is new. Everything is exciting. You feel like a tourist. But here's the thing about vacations. They're incredibly expensive and honestly, they're not very healthy. The vacation mindset has an expiration date. To survive out here, you have to transition from a tourist to a resident. You need a budget and you need a structure that supports a healthy lifestyle. I knew this intellectually before I arrived because I watched Evan A. So I gave myself a strict 6-month window, 6 months to wind down the vacation brain and set up to building a set of real daily habits. If you don't make that mental shift consciously, your bank account and your liver will yell at you. Then there's the relationship trap. I came here with a very solid ironclad boundaries regarding romance in a foreign country. But a lot of expats arrive completely unprepared for the genuine warm offerings of companionship that they are going to encounter. I have heard absolute horror stories, expats making massive, life-altering, expensive mistakes by diving headfirst into romantic relationships before they even remotely understand the local culture, the hidden costs or the hazards. Let's be real, hookups and dating are not the same overseas as they are back home. Getting entangled with the wrong person out here can cost you your health and your peace of mind and devastating amount of money. Keep your guard up until your eyes are fully open. The next thing you can't run away from is the lazy factor. Retirement gives you a less structured life. And if you aren't motivated to be active before you got on the plane, a new zip code isn't going to inject motivation into your veins. You have to build a routine. You have lots of choices. Learn the local language, pick up a musical instrument, paint or art, join a community group of other expats, do yoga, swim, cook, build a lifestyle that is real, not a background for a video. And that brings me to a massive misconception using creative projects to keep you busy. People think, oh, I moved abroad, start a YouTube channel and I'll write a book, launch a Substack, and that will keep me motivated and bring in income. Well, let me inject some reality here. I'm not discouraging you from creating, obviously, but look at what I'm doing. But expecting a creative project to keep you motivated is a fantasy. A YouTube channel or a book requires immense internal motivation and a heavy dose of humbling pain. And expecting it to generate revenue in the first year or two is just delusional. You need an independent funding source to survive. But beware, money also can be a trap. It can make you complacent. If you don't need to make income, where does your drive come from? It has to come from within, and you have to cultivate that. Cultivating a raw desire to learn and grow and build something, even if it never pays you a single dividend. If you have money management problems at home, you will have money management problems overseas, period. Now, let's talk about a trap where I actually chose to swim against the current, and that is alcohol. I've listened to countless expats talk about their relationship with alcohol and incredibly easy it is to slide into daily drinking when you are living abroad. It starts small. You quietly become concerned about drinking every day. Then it shifts to feeling secretly alarmed by how much time and money you're burning through. And then finally you hit the I don't care phase when the habit takes over and your shutters go down and issue a defiant fuck you to anyone who acts concerned because it's none of their business. I saw that trap coming and I chose a different route. I set a hard expectation for absolute sobriety before my boots ever hit the ground. And yeah, going through those challenging first few months of quitting alcohol was quite an adjustment. But I did it by laying on the beach and finding support online, and it worked. Thank God. Until now. And hopefully it'll keep working. Because alcohol does not have to be a prerequisite for a happy life. If you struggle with moderation of anything, complete abstinence is a healthy money-saving superpower out here. And then finally, here's a golden rule. If you are lonely back home, you'll be lonely overseas. Building a brand new network of connections in a foreign country takes immense time, intention, and openness. In the meantime, you have to protect yourself against isolation by making friends with yourself, being a nice person to live with. Learn to enjoy your own company. If the noise inside your head is constantly negative, critical, or demanding, you have to gently take the microphone away and install a kinder, more supportive inner dialogue. I just dropped an entire episode on how to do exactly that last week. So go watch it if you missed it. If you have to become grounded in who you are, or the silence of an expat life might drive you back to the US. Now, let's get to the biggest thing moving overseas didn't fix for me. Yes, I moved to retire on less money, but a massive driving force was the political landscape in the United States. I left because flat out refused to live, work, and pay into a system led by a fascist con man. And yes, I still have to pay taxes. I believed then, and I believe now, that he would gladly create a civil war to tear the country apart before he will ever give up power, and that includes the midterms. He doesn't care about the economy. He cares about enriching himself and the favors that he can give to corporations that are paying him. So this isn't a secret. He said it out loud. I also genuinely believe his chaos would ignite the next major global conflict. So I intentionally picked a tiny island that is fiercely neutral, small, and completely out of the line of fire. But guess what? Moving here doesn't erase my fears. I am not completely checked out. What's happening back home is a waking nightmare, and the ripple effects hit the entire planet. The global supply chain, the energy crisis, food shortages, they don't care if you're on a tropical island. You still feel it. I have to strictly ration my news consumption because it is pure toxicity. You cannot outrun global reality. Look, it is absolutely true that moving overseas offers a level of leisure and peace and affordability that the US simply cannot provide anymore. And I get to do the things I love, yoga and art and swimming and gardening and cooking, all on a budget I can actually afford. But freedom from the problems doesn't exist. Do not move abroad looking for an escape. Move abroad looking for a new canvas to paint a new, disciplined, healthy, realistic life. Now, if this perspective hits home for you, I dive deeper into the exact concepts of self-reliance and mental clarity in my book, Mental Wealth Journey, available on Amazon. And it's the ultimate guide for building internal resilience before you make a massive life leap like moving abroad. Do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. It costs you nothing and it's totally free. It keeps the lights on for this channel. And if you want to join the crew over on my Substack or buy me a coffee, the links are below. Let's talk in the comments. If you've moved abroad or are planning to, what's the one piece of internal baggage you know you need to sort out before you unpack your suitcases? And until next time, lead, follow, or get out of the way.